Hello everybody, the Army of Light Earth Division, the boots on the ground. It's Shawna L. Francis. Today is February 6th, 2024. Welcome everybody to today's weekly briefing. I'm so glad that you're here. Are we having fun yet? I feel like I've turned a corner. I'm feeling so much better, so much more grounded. I've been here in Mexico for a little over a week and I'm really kind of hitting my stride here energetically. Things have really cooled off in my world, settled down. I'm feeling more grounded, more centered, more at peace, more in joy, and just really rolling with it, So I hope you're all feeling this way as well, much, much better. I'm still sleeping quite a bit, like 9 hours a night, but I've got sustained energy through the day. Plenty of energy to go hiking and to be walking the beach, and also plenty of time for sitting around and relaxing too, reading, meditating. Melchizedek has asked me to meditate now 5 to 6 plus hours a day. So this is all that field work, the vibration work around getting ready for some of these bigger disclosure information that's coming. So we're working at this a lot, and it's been quite blissful actually. I'm loving it. Truth be told, I'm maybe doing a solid 4 to 5 right now, but they want more. And I'm kind of breaking this up. So I remember when Melchizedek first told me to meditate 2 hours a day, and I was freaking out. I was freaking out about this. So it's just definitely been a work in progress over the last couple of years with Melchizedek, 5 to 6 plus hours a day. I'm doing kind of 3 hours at one chunk, and then another 2 to 3 hours in another chunk. And every 60 to 90 minutes, I'm standing up, I'm kind of getting a drink of water, I'm moving around. So it's not like I'm just, stuck in this position like a stone statue for 6 hours in a day. That's not what's going on. But yeah, so it's a huge it's a huge commitment, and really being down here in Mexico, I think it's just the perfect place for it. Today, Melchizedek gave us 3 things that we can be doing right now today to help counterbalance the negative reptilian regime's influence on humanity. And, I'm getting a lot of questions about this, and, we've talked a lot about how to keep our vibrations high. How are we supposed to hear all this awful stuff coming through these channelings about what this regime is doing and still maintain a high vibration? These are all things we're all thinking about this stuff. And here you thought you were just watching YouTube videos, but no, you're actually being asked to be an active participant in this ascension, in this war against the negative reptilian regime's tactics. Galactic Federation of Light has used that word before. War. This is a war. It's a war of consciousness. Melchizedek talks about this today. So it's 3 things that you can do today. Before I get into that, just a quick update. I'm still trying to figure out what to do about this mushroom grow business. Melchizedek did tell me this week that really my highest timeline will be advocating for the medicine and also channeling that consciousness. So I have, while I've been in the medicine, been on mushrooms, a light dose, I've been able to actually talk with the consciousness that is the mushrooms. And I was going to do this anyway, even as I was growing the mushrooms, but they're saying, really allow other folks who want to be growing mushrooms to be doing all that. Your best talents here, the best use of your talents and gifts would be in really advocating for this as medicine, as raising of consciousness. And they reiterated, she's got a lot to say. I say she because really that's how I relate to this energy as a mother. If ayahuasca is kind of the grandmother, I really think of the psilocybin mushrooms as a mom, as mother, nurturing, full-on mother is the way I feel that energy. So I referred to that as her, as she. So they're saying she's got a lot to say about how she can be utilized. So I'm getting more and more excited about this, but I've put in so much time and money into this grow business, and my ego's all wrapped up in this, like being on the ground floor, getting this grow business going and being a part of this movement from a legal standpoint. Anyway, there's lots to do around psilocybin raising of consciousness around this, advocating for it, educating, spreading knowledge, all that good stuff. So I'm still pondering this, but that's kind of where I'm leading, and I'm feeling pretty good about it at this point, but we'll see. We'll see how it unfolds over the next few weeks. All right, Melchizedek, here's what they had to say today. It's been a lot of meditation, a lot of energy work, not a lot of channeling. So I was happy they came through today for this for you guys. All right. So we had some pleasantries, as we always do, and they said, where we'd like to start today is talking about the negative reptilian regime having their sights set on, what I was hearing was destroying humanity, has their sights set on destroying humanity. And I said, team, did I get this right? Did I hear this right? And they said, Shawna, we would like to elaborate on this. There's a concerted effort, dear one, to strip away the quote-unquote humanity from humanity. I said, okay, that makes sense. Please continue. He said, thank you, dear one. The negative reptilian regime's control mechanisms include the dismantling and careful removal of anything resembling hope, love, compassion, appreciation, tenderness, kindness, understanding, empathizing, relating. Humanity, dear one, the beautiful aspects of your existence here, the parts that bring joy, peace, balance, alignment, and unity. And they continued here. These are shackles, Shawna. We wish to be clear. Their tactics are shackles. Humanity, while a victim of these improprieties, also complicit on some levels. We mean to help wake you up to this reality, and we do so with the utmost respect and love for each and every one of you who has said yes to this path. We share this moment with you all now, this particular point where clarity and confidence are needed, where confusion, resistance, and denial are no longer serving the individual nor the collective on this evolutionary journey. So they get like this sometimes, and I think it's just as much for me as anyone. They kind of have this really hard-hitting language, and they tell it how it is, and then we are still going like, how can this be so? How can this be real? How can this actually be happening? And our sister here, Cassidy Starr from and the Light Renegades, you know, she's also very much on this journey along with all of us in terms of the negative reptilian regimes, the disclosure around all this. And, you know, we're always just like going, oh, how can it be possible that the control here is so deep and so wide and so integrated into all facets of our lives here, and we just have never known this. So again, team, as horrible as this is, and this is not great news, this is terrible news, but what's so wonderful about this time is that we're ready. We're ready to know this. There's enough of us here, whether or not we've been seated on the planet, or we've been able to raise our consciousness to certain levels, or we have become light workers, or whatever that might be. There's enough of us here where we are able to hold this in the field on a broader perspective, be able to really hold this information, seed the collective with this information, along with all kinds of other channels and other ways this information is coming to light, and then also be able to still hold the light, hold on to you know, who and what we are in truth and what all of this is in truth, while still knowing all this stuff about the negative reptilians. It's a huge undertaking. It's a huge job. And again, you just thought you were watching a YouTube channel. Hell no, team. You are being asked here to participate on deep levels. All right, and then they continue here. We continue to do our best to provide straight talk, straight answers, concise language, as to reduce ambiguity and to enhance resolve. What can you do in this moment, you may ask? First, dear ones, it's always the field. Your personal energetic field as the collective field. There is no way to separate this. Believe us when we say know this deeply, that you as a singularity hold all the keys to this ascension, all the keys to the raising of consciousness. Okay, they say here, be conscious about your choices. This includes your chosen emotional state, your chosen belief systems, your chosen activities, your chosen lifestyle, your chosen mindset, your chosen outlook on life. And they continue. Are you acting from a place of love, kindness, and universal acceptance? This is the first priority for each of you, as it has the greatest bearing, the greatest influence on this evolution. Okay, we've been hearing this now for 3 years, team. It is all about us. If you've been watching these videos and say you've watched a handful of them, or maybe you've watched 100 of them, and you still feel like you're outside of this process, as though you are a voyeur looking into something else going on outside of you, think different. Think differently. Start to really know that this is meant for you. You as a singularity, this is meant for you. Now is your time to take a deep breath and dive in with us and to get into this. It's go time, team. It's go time. We've never been more supported energetically or through these higher dimensional beings, this information that's flowing through. We've got this. We're ready. All right, me on my soapbox. Listen to that. I'm going to keep going here. Melchizedek. All right. Are you acting from a place of love, kindness, and universal acceptance? And I made a video about this not too long ago, universal acceptance. And then also just they had said the best way to keep your vibration high is love, kindness, and universal acceptance. Okay. Second, they said, understand that what we are dealing with here on the earth in this moment is an off-planet species who feels as though they own humanity. They own humanity, lock, stock, and barrel, they said. Their aim has always been to strip you of your humanity, to mold and control you to meet their needs and objectives. They've made a sport of this. They'd love to see each of you continue to fight each other, hate each other, to chastise each other, to attack each other, and to kill each other. It's a great game to them. Your misery is their prize. Your misery is their prize. Please, friends, they say, know that you can choose differently. You can choose differently. You are sovereign and you are free and you are in choice. Notice when your thoughts or your actions reinforce division, separateness, and us versus them mentality. Are we just not so into this right now, especially being an election year this year in the United States? Oh my gosh, look at the wars happening, all the battles, all the tit for tat, and all the bloodshed. All right, guys, you know, it's just time we get over this. This is the time. You know, again, they've asked us to completely stop consuming anything that has to do with mass media. Okay, getting into all the politics and reading, you know, all the different moves that are being made by all these different players. It'll just drive you crazy. It's not meant to be uplifting, enlightening. It's not even the truth. This is who and what we are, team. Step away from all the propaganda and join us here. Get off the phones and get off all the social media and all the sources of news that you're following that just keep perpetuating this negativity. Let's step into our sovereignty and be in choice. All right. And they continue. Know the real enemy here, loved ones. Know the real enemy. It is not your fellow human. This is a war of consciousness. It's a war of awareness. This is where we start. This is where we sit in this moment. Okay. Number 3, they said, guard your speech. Every word, spoken aloud or spoken to oneself, be of the purest intentions. See yourself reflected back in every person you meet. Strive to recognize yourself in the eyes that look back at you. Look into those eyes with kindness, dear ones, with an open heart, a willingness to listen, a willingness to be present, and a willingness to be in unity, no matter what the perceived differences may be present. Even if you've known yourself to be the one in lack, the one who needs solace, the one who needs to be picked up, the one who needs to be held. Offer these things freely to your fellow brothers and sisters. And in so doing, feel the entire field raise and lift with a shared recognition that we're all in this together. And as we work together, we're exponentially more powerful, more loving, more centered and grounded. And Melchizedek continues here. We can bring you to the garden with a wave of our arm. We can show you how all these beautiful seeds have been planted in meticulous rows, each little seed sprouting, the delicate birth of life, its most vulnerable stage. We can explain how this garden maintains a shared field, how each of the elements come together in beautiful unison to tend to this garden, to grow the garden, and to help it flourish. We can describe this vision for you, explain this metaphor, but it will be up to each of you as singularities, whether or not you wish to fully participate. Again, dear friends, you are in choice. And this will always be honored. Allow our love and a deep honoring and respect for each of you to be the water, the sun, and the soil that help your inner light sprout and grow and flourish. Behold this beautiful garden full of diversity, and know that you are never alone, and yet your individuality, your uniqueness, your individual gifts add to the magnificence, the glory, and the richness of this shared field. Please allow us, they said, the order of Melchizedek, to shower you with our unconditional love. Let us fill your hearts, dear ones, with an unconditional supply, a boundless supply of nurturing light as you step more fully into the now. And that's where they ended it. All right. I hope you felt that. I thought it was quite beautiful. Yeah, I mean, we're all doing the absolute best we can, and we do want to practice gentleness with ourselves, self-love always. But as you're feeling more grounded, centered, and confident in this role as a light worker, the more you're being asked to really make those choices, be the light, and guard our thoughts, maintain our high vibration, love, kindness, universal acceptance. There's plenty to be doing, and again, getting quiet, team, getting in touch with your field, getting in touch with your higher wisdom, with your guides, with these guides, with love, with your heart. Really starting to walk a more deliberate path, not just kind of walking through your days, you know, feeling like you're upbeat and maybe happy and at peace, but really living this every day with more purpose. I think this is really what they're asking us to do. And we're doing it, and we're ready to do this. You've got this, guys. I have no doubt. Another thing I forgot to mention, did everybody see here that King Charles has been diagnosed with cancer of some kind? There's not any real information out there yet, but he had an enlarged prostate and was being treated for that, and they found cancer, and they're not saying what or how far along it is, but it just reminded me of what Queen Elizabeth had to say in February a year ago, almost to the day probably. She said that King Charles wasn't going to be king for very long, and that he'd be unpopular, that the Negative Reptilian Regime was gunning to get William in there as soon as possible. I also just want to remind everybody that according to Queen Elizabeth, Charles, when he passes out of this body, is joining her in the light and will be working on behalf of all light. So this is great, right? I asked Melchizedek if I'd be channeling Charles, and they said no, that's not going to be me. Okay, team, I'm going to wrap this up. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for subscribing to this channel. It helps get the news out. Thanks for your likes and all your beautiful comments, and for bringing it every day. I love you all so much, and I completely honor and respect you. And I'm just so happy to be on this journey with all of you. All right, team, I will talk to y'all soon. Mwah.